I hated my healthy relationship. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Everything seemed extremely foreign to me. I even remember at the beginning of my relationship, I'm like, hey, there's a part of me inside that does not like you. And I said it with like a comical relief, but I was really serious. Like, there was a part of me that did not like this person, did not like how he held me accountable. I did not like how he held a mirror to my face. I did not like how he created situations where I had to be at my full potential, and I just was not ready to be my full potential at that moment.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It is a new day. We thank the good Lord it's a new day. Thank God it is a new day. So good to see you again. Thanks for stopping by. It's me again, WJ. Gender war is no joke. Well, focus of the topic is this a conundrum? Do you know your lane? Gender war is no joke. We've got to know our lanes. Now, this series of videos we're going to watch today is for grown folks. This is for grown folks, not just grown in age, but grown in your mindset. Because there's always room to grow. There's always something you could be better at, especially in this area of relationship as men and as women. You heard this lady. She went viral for hating her healthy relationship. There's always this constant men and women not understanding each other. I remember back in the day, my dad told me, God rest his soul. He says, the fact that you're a man and she's a woman, that's the beginning of problems. And that problem, till time immemorial, we're going to keep going over it. We're going to keep trying to understand each other every day. So let's not relent. But we're trying to just focus on what can we do better to better understand each other. As a man, what can we do to better understand our woman? And as a woman, what can we do to better understand our man? Staying in our lane, understanding each other from each other's perspectives. Once we figure that out, I am so positive. This whole supposed conundrum, which is a whole difficulty, which in my opinion, a lot of it are self-inflicted and self-induced, can be fixed as long as we keep it simple. Well, take a look at this next video and please put your comments in the comment section below. This is good for a man and this is good for a woman. Take a look.
Men don't talk. And this is something that we have to look at. They're taught to be a man and internalize everything. And then on top of that, us women, we have never learned, we were never taught what it means to create the atmosphere for your man to open up himself to you. And so in times and moments where your man opens up himself to you, it's very hard for you to receive it. In fact, in a moment where you were upset at him, angry at him, mad at him, you used that information that he gave you, which was so sacred, against him. It was a slap to his face. And now you're asking yourself, why doesn't he talk? Why doesn't he want to speak to me? Why isn't he going the same way that he did before? So we have to learn how to create the atmosphere for a man to open up himself to us. But it's imperative that we know that this atmosphere comes from within. This is something that comes from within the woman. And if the woman is always focusing on the fact that her man is not talking to her, she'll neglect her own self. She won't be able to look within herself and say, hold on a second. Am I creating the atmosphere? Is the atmosphere, is home coming from within me?
Wow. So let me just ask you a question before we go on. Why do you think we constantly have this gender war, especially in a relationship setting? Why are we always clashing? Not seeing eye to eye. And you would think the people you are in relationship with should be the most comfortable, the most easy setting. But yet it seems those are the ones we constantly have more tension with. They say men don't talk. I disagree. Men do talk. We may not talk the way you want us to talk or the way you think we should be talking, but men do talk. This lady got it right. I mean, if a man is in the right atmosphere, he will talk. Believe you me. And I believe the same thing for a woman as well. But I know for a man, and that's why the same man you say doesn't talk, maybe when they're with you, when they're out with the boys, when they're out on their own, just people watching, just relaxing, chilling, he gets on the phone. You wonder if it's the same person. Why is that? Because the environment is right. Let's not use the most sacred, most secret things that we share with each other against each other. First of all, it's childish. Second of all, it's dangerous because now we're opening up ourselves to a whole lot of things and people that should not be part of our relationships. Don't qualify to even speak a letter, let alone a word into our relationships. It's so dangerous. Regardless, irrespective of the fact that we may be angry, because a lot of things happen when we are angry, and we got to be really mindful of that. The moment you can control your anger, in other words, it's okay to be angry, but do not let it stop what you're meant to do. Don't cut the pipes of your love that you show because you're angry. If you're able to keep the pipes open, even while you're angry, that's a mature person. Now, that person is a real value add to your life. Well, we're going to go to this next video and see how this applies. Is this a conundrum? Know your lane. It's very important as a man to know your lane, as a woman to know your lane. Everybody's running a race in this life. We all in different lanes, and we're getting off different exits. It's not about the other person. Focus on yours. At the end of the day, that's what you're going to give an account about. Not someone else's race. Let's focus on ours. Let's do the best. Let's be our best us. But can you also tell me one word that is so applicable to all of these videos we've seen so far? These 2 videos. I'll tell you what I think I'm hearing. Accountability. Accountability. Take a look at this next video.
The majority of you said you want a whole man in your life who can provide, keep, and protect, right? So here's the question. How can you have one when you get up every day trying to be the best man you can be?
He's talking to the women.
I hope y'all are ready to call me or pick me in the comments, but I'm gonna speak from a perspective that's gonna help y'all out here. Because this is the problem that I have. Stop hearing from your emotional ears and actually hear what's being said. I understand that the word choice was probably poor, but what he is saying is there are certain characteristics, certain behaviors that a woman may display. We just had a woman that was just talking about being alpha. Let me hit that first. Stop telling people that you alpha, because I don't think y'all understand what that personality actually really is and what it comes with. Alpha is not you just being strong. You're being resistant. You're not collaborative when it comes to conflict. You have low perspective taking. So when we have conversations like this, if we want to actually stop the damn gender war, and excuse me if I get passionate, we have to be able to hear both sides right now. If there is a woman, because I deal with couples all the time and I see this, and this is a big problem, and this is why men don't speak on it because they can't be heard on this. If you have a woman who is in a male-dominated field and she has to use most of her masculine traits, sometimes it is hard to turn it off at home. Even if she's not in a relationship, even in her own home, sometimes it's hard to turn it off. I deal with lawyers, I deal with women who are in analytical spaces all the time, and because their brains are still going, when they even get in their own space, they don't get to actually resonate in their feminine energy, as we always talk about. They don't get to pull up their feminine traits because they're constantly having to go. They're not practicing mindfulness and stuff like that. So when they do get into a relationship, it becomes something that is so ingrained brain, it becomes a default mode that they go in. And if you don't understand default modes and default strategies, you won't understand this conversation. There are some women who do go into these defaults and it automatically turns on. It's not on purpose. A lot of it is unconscious. Yes, I may say to myself, I want a man who can allow me to be feminine and provide this space. But if I am always in default mode, even if this man comes, I may still resist him. If I'm constantly having to be in my masculine in work and stuff like that in home, and I haven't learned how to turn it off, he's going to face the masculine side of me. Let's be real about this. Let me add my last piece. If y'all actually want, because I come from a very healthy side, so y'all please excuse me. If you actually want to see, we always talk about helping the Black community. If you are wanting to actually see us grow and stop this damn gender war, be able to listen and stop being so emotional. Turn off the fact that you're hearing certain words and just listen for a second. We hear women use certain word choices. We don't check them.
No.
Well, there goes that word again. Accountability. Accountability. She said it all. Is this a conundrum? Well, I say it's not as hard as we make it seem. A lot of the complexities is because it's self-inflicted, self-induced. We make it complex when it really shouldn't be, as long as we know our lanes. Just to add to what she says from another angle. A suggestion that I believe will help everybody in a relationship, trying to get into a relationship. Do not do life alone. Get some type of counseling, constant counseling, or get into groups like relationship groups, marriage groups. Things that could let you see life from another perspective, how people are doing things that you share the same kind of perspective and thought process with. It helps. I know my wife and I, we are constantly, in our church, we are constantly in the small groups settings, which helps to constantly just hone in on what we need to be doing as men, what we need to be doing as women. We need that constant reminder. And to help us see that, hey, sometimes what you think you're going through, first of all, you're not the only one. I remember this man that used to say that back in the day, says, you ain't the onlyest one. You ain't the onlyest one. And second of all, sometimes it's not as hard, as difficult, as complex as we make it seem. Just hearing from other people, being in that setting with other people, married folks in relation, doing life together. So do not do life alone. I really like what this lady says. Just know when to turn it on and turn it off, regardless of where we are. But when we come home with each other, or you around the person you're in a relationship with, you know how to get into your energy. As a woman, you get into your feminine space. As a man, you get into your masculine space. That's who we are. And trying to be contrary to that would always create a conflict. Not even with the person we're in a relationship with, but even within ourselves. Could you imagine me trying to operate in a feminine energy? Heck no. How's that going to work? I'm already conflicted. And if you're as a woman trying to operate in a masculine energy, that's not who you are. It's not going to work. It's just going to be a ripple effect of disaster. Is this a conundrum? Again, I like to close this out by saying accountability, personal accountability, not gender accountability. Personal accountability, not gender accountability. And let's just keep it simple. And lastly, let's give grace to one another. We all make mistakes. It's okay. Let's do it all in love. Let's correct in love, and let's be corrected in love. Let's allow ourselves to be corrected, and let's also correct, all in love. We all need it. It's a yin-yang. Please put your comments in the comment section below, and let's know what you think about this. If you have stories that tie to this, then we can help. Hey, this is a family just trying to help one another be better at doing life and having our relationships so healthy. so we can change this whole narrative about relationships and get it better. So we can pass on to the next generation something worth their time and worth the standards. We never like to close without reminding ourselves that we always remember we've got one life with many seasons. So let's make the best of it. God bless you, and I will see you soon. You take care now. Bye for now.